I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Eligwe, heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes, not behind you. You will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
Excuse me. They can't tell me. No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when you see you tell somebody's secret, when you like, you find secret. When you like, it's in public. What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that, I ask you? When you like, you try and when you like to try in private, they are killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing They are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell me to tell the secret? The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
the meaning of discovery? It means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun. Hey everyone, welcome to this live broadcast today. Today is the 16th day of January 2023. I want to say welcome to the program again. Today is the live transforming program, which is Mind Surgery Show on this special and hallowed platform, Biafra Global Network. My name is Kelechi Ambrose and your host as always. And of course, I actually want to appreciate you for joining and also want to say thank you for joining. Please like the video, share. As you see, Biafra Must Come has started sending a message that we should share and circulate on all our social media platforms so that people can join us and be part of this great time and great opportunity to learn together and at the same time discuss and talk about our common interest. I want to welcome you today, being Monday. Of course, today is the Sit at Home program. I was just asking one of my relatives, are you at work today in the East? The person is at work, and he said, no, we are sitting at home. Tomorrow is, I'm resuming work tomorrow. I said, oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, you're supposed to be at home. So it's a good thing that our people are still conscious of the fact that we are sitting at home, and today is another day to sit at home. Remember, the announcement has been made by Mazi Simon Ekpa, 23rd and 24th of this month. By the time we clock 22nd of this month, Mazi Namdekano is not released. The 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th of this month will be a sit at home. Every part of Biafra territory will sit at home. Sahara reporters came with their narrative talking about sitting at home for Southeast. You see, when you see, brown envelope media platforms, they tend to want to corrupt any reality that you have, even when they come into it, and it is not possible for them to ignore the news. When they want to report it, they report it, but in a biased form. Sahara Reporters is telling us, telling the people, not us, telling those who, of course, they know they are talking to one Nigerianists and they are talking to Nigerians whose mindset have gone into comatose. That means the reasoning part of their mind. And so whatever they tell them, they'll believe. They tell them about Southeast, and we are talking about Biafra. You are talking about Southeast. What has Southeast got to do with Biafra? Southeast, whatever you call it, Southeast, Southwest, or whatever you call it. Okay, we talk about Southeast and South. There's nothing like that in the context of Biafra. We are concerned about Biafra. We are fighting for Biafra. And one interesting thing that Mazi Simon Ekpa said this morning or this afternoon is that he's a freedom fighter and not a freedom agitator. And very interesting, because you have to understand what it means to fight for freedom. That brings me to the key point here, which I'm going to be narrating tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about this as part of what I'm going to be discussing tomorrow, because we're going to be having Prince Ezem here in our church joining us very soon. And so I may not have the time to really preach. He's going to be coming up so soon, very soon from now, very shortly from now. And he's going to be joining us live, because today we're going to be talking with him. Today we're looking at how the enemy's program is an extension of the program that we have for our freedom. And we'll have people send the messages. Thank you so much for joining, all of you sending your messages. I want to appreciate you all for sending your messages. And I say thank you all. I cannot actually mention your names for now, but I'm going to mention your names later and towards the end of the program, because our guest today has a limited time. He's not going to be spending more than an hour with us, on this program. So on this note, I'm going to welcome him live on the program. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome. Good afternoon from here, and we appreciate you as always for always joining us. In fact, anytime I see this your face cap, it's like I should take it because of that name on it, Biafra. I wish I can just get it. Thank you, sir. Please say hello to Biafrans as always.
As always, we always begin with our God,
Yes.
Chukwokike, who alone giveth life. We want to thank God. We want to give him all the praise, all the honor, all the adoration, all the worship, for he alone deserves and owns our worship. I want to thank him for this particular day, a day that he has made us partakers in, a day he has proposed an assignment, an additional assignment for each of us. For if our assignments finish, we won't be here. So we are here to do that which God has destined us to do today. And we've all woken up. Now it's time for us to hit the road and do the needful. We thank God and we bless his holy name this day and forever in Yeshua's name. He said,
Talking about the
and
mission.
I
Okay.
wanted to thank my fellow Biafrans and welcome them, if you don't mind, Kelechi. I want to welcome my fellow Biafrans, those in the light, those that have refused the darkness. I thank you for being part of this program. Remember, it is a hallowed platform where everything you hear is simply the one and only truth. Thank you, Kelechi, for providing this hallowed platform through which the gospel of God, the gospel of Chukwokike, will be decimated and spread across Biafra land and across the world. For we are children of light, and we are bringing the light to illuminate this dark and wicked world. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Before I go straight to asking some vital questions, we're going to begin with the countdown. You know, it's important that we begin to talk about the countdown so that Biafrans will be conscious of the fact that the countdown is not just taking note of statistics or just, counting numbers, but it is significant. Can you tell Biafrans, from your perspective, the significance of the countdown in preparing their minds and preparing the enemies for what is to come?
I want Biafrans to know that the countdown before us wasn't initiated by us. It was initiated by Nigeria and Britain. This countdown you're seeing isn't ours. We never initiated it. Remember, the scripture tells us that when we fall, that God will be there to hold and uphold us. But if we jumped, if we suddenly decided to give a countdown, it meant that we are actually tempting our God, that we are jumping, we are the aggressors. Because this is being brought to us, it means we are falling, and God is with us. So, when we say a countdown, we mean that we are going to meet our enemies at that gate, where they will crumble and where they will regret ever picking a war against God's own people. Remember a little young man called David. David never asked Goliath to come out. David never. But he became that tool through which Goliath became history. Now I want my fellow Biafrans to know that each of us now have become David. We are now the David of this time. And it doesn't matter who they bring. It doesn't matter what they try to do. Remember how the walls of Jericho fell. Remember how the walls of Jericho fell to the ground. Remember how many people that were used by God to bring down that wall. You represent that army. Don't be afraid. All you need to do is to do that which God has put in your mind to do. The countdown is here because they imposed it on us. And we are counting down to meet our enemies square on. And with the power that only God can provide, we are going to dismantle each and every one of them, just like our leader Mazin Nandi Kano told us, that you should watch and see how we are going to decimate them, one after the other. And that will bring about the glory of God again in this day that we are present occupiers of this earth. People think God is not watching, and this is not the same God. The same God is about to do that which he alone can do. This is the season. I told you about seasons. I told you about farming. God is the ultimate farmer, and God is clearing the fields so that new crops will be planted. It is you and I that God have chosen to do this work. All we need to now do is to use whatever God has put at our disposal. Remember that David did not go in there with a knife. Remember that even when they put that garment of war on David, because it was that of mortal beings, it weighed so much on him and he knew he didn't need it. He had to use what God had given him to do the job. So don't be afraid what you have. Whatever it is you have will be sufficient on the day, will be sufficient in this season to bring about this awesome Biafra we are talking about. Whatever it is, don't be afraid. Just make sure you have something and believe that that thing is something God has given you to do this work, and see what God can do. So don't be afraid. They are bringing this to us. Our countdown is not imposed by us. If Nigeria did not bring their madness to us, we won't be counting down today. We are falling, and God has promised that he's going to uphold us. We never decided to jump. We were not testing God. No, rather God, in his own mercy, had seen that we have suffered enough, and he is now coming to our rescue. So once again, the Red Sea had been opened for children of God to escape. The Red Sea is wide open. Don't forget that everything you read in the Bible is applicable to you when it comes to all those victories that God secured for his people. Those victories are ours, and we need to open our eyes to these spiritual reckonings. We can't be blind to it because we are children of God. So we cannot entertain any fears, no matter what it is that is happening. I am telling you, all these things are geared towards our total victory. Nigeria has brought chaos to the land. Nigeria has brought confusion. Nobody knows who is doing what and why things are happening. We need to know that everything happening in Nigeria is a byproduct of that wicked contraption designed to use money and bribe your own family member to be against you. Everything happening is a byproduct of Nigeria entity, and we're going to defeat all of these things as far as you understand that God is using you as a tool, just like he used Joshua, just like he used David, just like he used Moses. Today you know your name is Moses. Today you know your name is David. Today you know your name is Joshua. Today you must rise and see what God is telling you to do. Do that which you have been instructed to do. And whatever Simon Ekpa tells you to do, just do it. And you will see that God is the same God yesterday, is the same God today, is the same God tomorrow, and is the same God forever. I thank you.
You actually made lots of points that I have already designed questions out of all of them. But let's look at it critically from the point of view of the fact of what we have come to do. The basic focus we have is to restore Biafra. Now, in the line of restoring Biafra, we always know that whatever one does that has to do with pursuing the truth or pursuing a particular focus, there's always this resistance. And when you were talking, you talked about the forces and the attacks coming from every quarter, every angle, and all of that. And now let's look at it. And you also said something like they actually gave us or brought the countdown to us. Now let's look at it from that point of view. In relation to the topic we have today, how the enemy's program is an extension of our own program for the successful restoration of Biafra. Now, the election was fixed by them. Mazi Simon Ekpa have been saying, we know when Biafra will come. And the election is a program designed for their own selfish benefits. But yet, it is the other way around, a program designed for us to capitalize on, to get what we want. So how does this fit in this particular topic that we have today? Can you explain better to Biafrans to understand how the enemy's program can be an opportunity to actually achieve what we intend to achieve in this? Let's just talk about it in relation to the election first, and then we can go to the point of Soludo, because he's also a program designed and representing the enemies from the stooges that we have.
Elections in Nigeria are designed for the purposes of renewal of slavery certificates. That is just the only thing they are designed for. Britain knows that, and Nigerians know that. Britain knows that, and Nigerians know that. Nigerian slaves are always renewing their slavery certificates, especially since the expiration of Nigeria. Britain understood that the only way this project will continue is by renewing your slavery certificates through elections. People need to understand this very clearly. Don't make any mistakes about that, because Nigeria has no other valid ground to be existing without the validity, the accreditation that people make during elections. Mazi Simon Ekpa understood that. That was why he was saying, this time there will never be any renewal of this slavery certificate. Remember, whenever the devil sets a project out, the devil ensures that there are people who will be deluded to think that they are benefiting from that project. And those are the people the devil uses to make sure that it protects all its ambition. The devil has three things in mind to achieve: to deceive you, to destroy you, to steal. In fact, you can add to that, to kill. That is the mission of the devil. The mission of the devil will use objects that are attractive to your human, poor, partial, and assisted eyesight, to deceive these gullibles, to now become the agents. And there are too many. Just like the weeds are usually outnumbering the crops in the farm, the same way you will see all these people, those who had already benefited, those who are currently benefiting, those who believe they are about to benefit, those who believe that one day it will be their chance to benefit. All of these forces are combined in creating the mayhem you are seeing. That was why those in the spirit, like Mazi Simon Ekpa, knew that this is the only time, and it has to happen now or never, or never. That's how they forced this countdown on us. Okay? Because, and this countdown is real. You can see that they have already amassed their army. That's why God has set us up to even start the attack. Even now, if we start it now, God will back us up, because God himself has seen all the enemies and seen all their planning. We never planned this. They planned and organized it for God's people. But God has already awakened individual's mind, those that he wants to use to begin to preempt, to begin to strike at the souls of the faithful so they can rise and know what is coming and what we should be doing. And I tell you, when all this hell will break loose, you will see our enemies stumbling like a pack of cards, because God will be behind you and I in doing this job. And this will be the quickest of all battles. It will be fast. They don't even know what is coming. They were warned that no amount of thing anybody does will stop Biafra from coming. God has already signed Biafra in, and this countdown is spiritual. It begins the process of the liberation of God's people. It begins that process, and it can never be missed. You are only asked to make sure that you are a tool through which this is achieved. Remember, the Spirit, God, does not work physically here on earth without using you and I. It wasn't God that came and struck down Goliath. God had to use the willing to David to do so. It wasn't God who came into his own house and drove away those people selling in that place. Jesus physically removed them. It is not a time for praying for God to come and do this and do that. We have prayed enough, and God has asked us to go and physically do the work, just like God owns the seed, but God charges us to take the seed. God owns the soil, but God asks us to physically take the seed and then engage the soil so he can do the rest. So this is our work to do. No one on this earth will do this work for us. The countdown is here, and it came for a purpose. We can't miss it. I thank you.
Biafrans, it's obvious that we understand what is happening based on the fact that because of the resilience of Biafra people to stand and make sure that they seek for their freedom, we have this, continuous and continual attack on the people of Biafra, especially those who are standing for the cause of freedom. Today we saw that suddenly Mazi Simon's YouTube channel is becoming, has become, a problem. And the fight is everywhere. The fight is just everywhere. And that is significant. And it is not for anybody to shake or to be afraid or anything. You should know that your actions, your input is making significant result, on getting you significant result. Before we come to the next question, I'm going to play this particular video to you and Biafrans so that we can see. And then, of course, we have seen this video. Most of us have seen it.
Can I add before you show the video?
All right, please.
Can I add that people need to be aware that the only time you would know that you are actually hurting your enemy is when the enemy's activities intensify.
Yeah.
So all these attacks, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's these are all the enemies working with Nigeria, because they know what Biafra represents. The more they intensify their wickedness, and the more they do this, you know you're about to catch them. That is usually the case.
That's right.
I want you people to understand it. If they are enjoying and they are quiet, it means you're not affecting them.
That's right.
You're not touching them. Okay? You can see how they have attacked Mazi Nandekano, and now the next person they are attacking is Mazi Simon Eba. Okay? Whenever they see anybody doing that thing they perceive as a threat to their evil plans, they react in this way. It is just how it works. Trust me. Remember, the animal is at its most dangerous when you are about to catch it, when you trap it in. That is when it reacts so violently, because now you've cornered it. This time, these people have been cornered, and that's why they are in fact, watch and see more intensity in their activities, because they know the renewal of certificate is what is being halted, and the freedom of Biafra is coming with it. They are all going mad. So when you see this, know that victory is near, and push harder, okay, to secure your victory. Thank you. You can proceed.
Yeah, it is interesting to understand now that Nnamdi Kanu have become the security they need to sort and resolve every matter that concerns security in Biafra land. And suddenly, Nnamdi Kanu have become very, very important to them. Before we go on that, I want us to first look at this, before we go on that, Soludo's, because I want us to look at it critically, because it's very funny. So, since yesterday, I've been watching it, and it sounds so funny to me. Suddenly, Nnamdi Kanu have become very, very important, and they could sing his praise. All we are saying, give us Nnamdi, led by Soludo, an arch enemy. Now let's look at this particular this video. It describes Nnamdi Kanu and describes Mazi Simon Ekpa. At the same time, it opens to us the fact of who Nnamdi Kanu is and represents, and his place in this program of liberation, and the program, and who Simon Ekpa represents and his place in the program. From this woman, who can deduce this, and then you can give us analysis on that. Let's watch it.
I'm not quite sure that Nnamdi retains control of the streets the way that we would like to think he does. In his absence, you know, a vacuum was created. That young man sitting in Finland, Sam Ekpa, who's sort of been sending out instructions to IPOB members on the street in terms of the Monday sit at home and all of that, seems to be fully, you know, in charge, particularly of the sort of more violent elements within that party. And I just wonder whether releasing Nnamdi Kanu will have the sort of impact that we think it will have. Having said that, I do think it is not something that should be dismissed. It should be considered. And even if it's a reduction we get as a result of that release, then it will be worth your while. But you mustn't forget that he has jumped bail before, on the other hand.
Well, that's
so
why
you can.
Yes. Please, can you describe this to us?
You see, if you are in the spirit, you will understand all this. And don't forget that Mazi Simon Ekpa, you see, the biggest stroke, the biggest chord, the most valuable chord that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struck was when he made the world aware of Mazi Simon Ekpa. The biggest chord he struck. If you're a musician, you know what I mean by chord.
Very well.
The most significant chord he struck was when he focused the whole faithful's eyes on Mazi Simon Ekpa. Because unless if you don't have memory, you will remember when Mazi Simon.
Let's call it the 16th chord in music.
Thank you. The 16th chord. Well done. You're a musician. Now, the 16th chord was struck when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called on Simon Ekpa. Now you can recall when Simon Ekpa told the world that we will ensure that our actions will be more expensive to these people than the holding of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We're going to make sure they find no value in keeping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is where we are at. Do you understand?
Very well. Before you continue on this note, I want to remind you also, you remember when Malami was having a field day, when he now made a statement, he said that we have not seen any security situation in the Southeast that will warrant us to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Can you relate it to this, what is happening now?
You see, that's why all they were trying to do, like when Malami, or even when you see the criminal betrayer called Ejiofor advising Nnamdi Kanu to tell Biafrans to calm down, calm down, calm down. All they wanted was for the whole place to calm down so they can have good value to destroy Nnamdi Kanu. Okay? That is the whole agenda. And when Malami said that, it meant that there was that people are happy with keeping Nnamdi Kanu here. So why should we release him? Everywhere is calm for him being here because he knew that the type of revolt that is being experienced now, if it became present, then the whole essence of keeping Nnamdi Kanu will become valueless. That's why they are now at a stage where they are now thinking, isn't it better to bring out Nnamdi Kanu to moderate things, to take power back from EPA, so that perhaps
it was better
the light they are looking for will come through, that things are at a place where it is too dangerous, and the more they do, the more Simon EPA is telling them that they're going to scatter the whole place. The thing is driving them mad. Suddenly, Finland had become a popular nation in Nigeria. That one in Finland. That one in Finland. That one in Finland. This was somebody they were saying is of no significance. It's of no significance. Suddenly, that one in Finland had become a bone latched onto their neck. They can't swallow it. They can't bring it out. That's why they are now contemplating bringing out Nnamdi Kanu and hoping. And you know, you have to, no matter whether you love Nnamdi Kanu or hate him, you must respect that guy. He's the one and true Igbo man, Igbo leader that I have seen, as far as I'm concerned, based on my own assessment. Because I believe there is nothing they haven't done or offered. He insists that he is. That's why they don't even know what he's going to do if they release him. That's why they are panicking. They don't know what he's going to do. They are not sure. Now they are hoping, just like Nigerians would hope all the time. Perhaps if we bring him out, he can now silence this one in Finland. He might be a better offer. He might be a better way of getting this. That's why Soludo was now insisting that we need him at that round table, because we believe we can convince him to stop this Finland man. We can, if you don't want to release him freely, bring him so I can keep him. Who are you to keep Nnamdi Kanu? Aren't you crazy? Who are you? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? He has prescribed that stupid, the one called, what's his name? Carlo, the one that came from Abia. It's also talking about Oduduwa Kanu. It's also, these are lunatics that don't understand what Biafra is all about. So you think you're going to take a Biafran leader and house him in your house? You're mad. This is total madness. The thing is that they're dealing with something that is bigger than them. They are dealing with Biafra that represents a spirit that is plugged into Chukwu Okike. They are trying to manage something that is beyond them, and they can't manage it. So right now, they are confused. But at least one thing is for sure. They have suddenly realized that kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was a total mistake. Because if they did not, they would have still been playing along with Nnamdi Kanu through the criminals working with him, and they would have been getting their way. Right now, Simon EPA is not one you're going to compromise with. Simon EPA is not one you can bribe. Simon EPA is a true son of the soil who understands that what he possesses is more than earthly wealth. What is in him is bigger than anything you can print as money. So they have hit the rocks. They have hit the rocks. And I tell you something, let me warn them so they know. As wonderful as Mazi Simon EPA and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are, let me warn them that there are many of us who are even more angry than Simon EPA and Nnamdi Kanu put together. Let me warn these lunatics that they don't even know the people. We have authorized Mazi Simon EPA to be our spokesman, and we are happy to surrender to his leadership. But we are also aware of where we are going. Even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has told us that he has already told us where we are going. So if he steps out of line, we should do unto him what we have done to betray us of Biafra.
That's right. That's right.
So these people need to be aware that Mazi Simon Ekpa is even a moderator.
That's
He's
right.
moderating things. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is moderating things. There are more angry people, more angry
That's
Biafra.
right.
They need to know that. They need to just know that. That is a message I believe they should know. And if it is possible, I love this tape to be played out so they can hear that there are more crazy Biafrans, more angry. They are currently dealing with civilized moderators in the person of Mazi Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are civilized moderators operating with them. They better behave themselves because they don't even know how angry people are. They have no clue whatsoever. That's why they need to be careful. And I'm serious. I'm very serious.
Now, you know, several times I've watched this lady talk about the issue of Biafra and arrogantly talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and, you know, dismissing anything that has to do with Biafra is very relevant. Now she suddenly made herself the cause of the popularity she had gained by the sponsorship of the caliphate to come the media space, going to interview people, get lots of people and force her opinion on them, try to put words into their mouth because they can't say what is in their heart. They have to speak according to and moderate themselves based on these facts. Now, suddenly she is now coming out to talk about, you know, Mazi Simon Ekpa, comparing the situation under Mazi Simon Ekpa and the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the situation under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be milder compared to that one under Mazi Simon Ekpa. Now she's come to realize, telling us critically from this video, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is actually not the the bug. You know, they actually took, you know, they actually took the wrong person. Or somehow, the more you take any one of them, the more you're going to get worse. So is it not a better option to get this man back? Maybe because he's softer, it will be better for him to come back. And then the same way also she is talking in that regard, Soludo is now coming up to speak in that same line. Now, don't you see the caliphate playing games, using these their stooges to actually put it forward to us so that it will look like these ones pleaded, and that is why they responded, because this one spoke, you know, or making it look like trying to get the minds of the people and see how we're going to react to these things, you know. And I wanted to say something about that because I'm trying to probe further into the minds of these people, but I know they're not speaking their own minds. They are speaking the minds of the caliphate.
The game plan is too transparent for those who have discerning spirit. Don't forget that what this woman is pandering to is similar to what Atiku had just said recently, trying to get people to soften up. Oh, we are going to look at ways to give you autonomy and all the rest. These are all games. These are all games. Now, the truth is that where they are right now, they preferred, in fact, they would have regretted ever capturing Nnamdi Kanu. They did, because they knew that within Nnamdi Kanu and members of DOS, they will always have their way. Okay? No matter what Nnamdi Kanu does, they will secretly go and bribe the ones behind Nnamdi Kanu, and what they will now, those ones in DOS will now force Nnamdi Kanu to change the goalpost. So they were having it, even though Nnamdi Kanu was forceful in his message, but they knew that they had people in place to moderate and control Nnamdi Kanu at the end. That was why Nnamdi Kanu was getting so frustrated. That was why he was asking for 100 men. You see, but with Mazi Simon Ekpa, they don't have that. They can't see anyhow they can penetrate this guy. He is almost a lone ranger. And then, but the Biafrans have elected him as the spokesperson. So they have nobody to actually use to get through him. and they have suddenly realized that whatever he says, Biafrans are doing it. So that thing has troubled them so much. They are now bringing out all these their slaves, their slave stooges, to come and begin to play this silly game, only because they want the election badly. They know that this renewal of the slavery certificate is critical to them. And this guy in Finland is doing everything to scupper it. And that this guy in Finland is working with Sunday Boho. And the thing is that they don't know how this thing is going to pan out. They are now feeling, isn't it better to bring out Nnamdi Kanu? He might moderate this thing. He might be the only one that can moderate this guy. After all, he claims to be his disciple. So if we bring him out, he might be able to tone it down. And we can get this election done. We can negotiate something with Nnamdi Kanu and promise him heaven and earth about devolution and all the rest. So these people, certainly, from all that they have done so far, are indicating that they are confused. They don't know what is the best thing to do. But one thing that is certain to them is that this guy in Finland, with the alliance with these Yorubas, that they can damage the whole thing for them. The confusion is huge. Okay, Cambodian or whatever army they brought, I don't know the name have the one they're bringing. They are bringing it because they are very scared. They don't know what Burundi. They don't know what is. They are so confused. It's unbelievable. But that is the right place to have them, in order to deal with them ruthlessly. And what I must tell them is, it doesn't matter what they choose to do, Biafrans and Oduduwans are ready, because this is the season of freedom. And there is nothing any Jupiter on this earth would do to stop it. Trust me.
Now, from the events of from the events, ongoing, can you significantly tell us now that Malami and the Caliphate is now overwhelmed, and they have met and seen the evidence of what they thought they never expected? Looking at what he said initially, that it has not come to that point because we have not seen any security threats that will actually make us consider Nnamdi Kanu. Do you think that what is happening right now is a proof that they have seen it and they are already sensing what is about to come?
Oh yeah, they knew the threshold. Now, if he didn't know the threshold, he wouldn't have been speaking in that terms. He knew very well that the level of disorder that was required in order for them to consider the release of Nnamdi Kanu wasn't there. Right now, they are seeing that level of disorder, and the thing is scaring the hell out of them. They are witnessing it, otherwise they won't be reacting this way. Look at a Fulani agent like Atiku, who is on a mission to make sure that that Quran is dipped into the ocean. Now trying to pander and say how they are gonna attack, as if he means it. Once you give that man power, then you will see hell on earth and see how they have mapped out their plan to overrun the whole place. But now he's forced to be talking in this way. They have forced, Soludo is talking in this way. This lady now is talking in this way. Oduduwa Kanu is talking his usual rubbish, because as far as they're concerned, they don't give a damn how many Biafrans die. As far as they are feeding from the devil and they're getting what they believe in, they forget that in the end, these people will come after them themselves. These are lunatics that have no reasoning capacity. These are people who thought in their minds that they represent animals, but in the end, their actions are worse than that of animals. So the threshold Malami was talking about is before him. So there is chaos in Asarok. For every day they are working out on new strategy, new plans, what to say, what to do, how to. They are dealing with a hot potato. The hot potato is refusing to turn cold. The hot potato is refusing. In fact, the more the thing is overheating, they can't hold it. They can't swallow it. They don't know what to do with it. Chaos everywhere. Even the intelligence and advice coming from Britain is no longer enough. They don't know how to manage this. Okay? So, in the end, everything Simon Ekpa told them is about to come home to roost. And Simon Ekpa told us that they are going to make the situation worse. They're going to make them regret ever kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu. They're going to make the consequences of holding Nnamdi Kanu more than releasing him. That's where the whole thing is pushing towards. And isn't it wonderful to see what God can do with one man? Isn't it wonderful to see what God can do with two people? Isn't it wonderful what God can do with few people? If everybody had agreed that this is the way to go, today the millions that have agreed would have been stealing God's glory. Today we can see the glory of God because he is using just a few to shake the whole world into submission. Aren't you seeing the miracles and glory of God flying across this earth? Are you blind not to see it? But I promise you more is coming. More is coming that will even send a message to the worst believer or to the worst that wouldn't accept God to know that it is only God that has done this. More is coming. These people haven't seen anything yet. Trust me. Yes.
Wow. We see a group of people who are, haters of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have this level of hatred that is beyond imagination. To the extent they supervised Soludo, who supervised the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, suddenly becomes the choir master to sing the praise and for the return of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let me play this video first before I ask the question.
Nnamdi Kanu, all we are saying, give us Nnamdi. Is that all we are saying? Give us Nnamdi. When he comes, we will have.
with his crop voice and all of that, he decided to become the choir master and led this choir, this wonderful mass choir in that field to sing the praise of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from being the sellout. Please, what do you have to say about it before I ask the question?
He has become the leader of the orchestra. Now,
oh my God.
Now, let me tell you something. You know that in the spiritual realm and even in the physical, the devil has always miscalculated.
That's right.
The devil.
So that's
the
where
devil
the program comes, and the program of the devil becomes useful to us.
The devil pretends to be wise, and to those that follow the devil, they see the devil as wise, but they don't know that God has reduced the devil into having the mindset of a child. You know, a child only knows how to go and grab and run. The child never contemplates that they could grab and they will fall. The child doesn't do that. So that if the devil knew that killing Christ would result in your salvation, will result in Christ's glory, the devil wouldn't have gone there. So remember, before, to these Nigerians, their worst enemy was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And they believed and they thought they would have succeeded. In fact, they would have succeeded if not for Simon Ekpa. And that's why I told you that that sixth chord was this guy, Simon Ekpa, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struck. Okay? That's why you have to respect Nnamdi Kanu. God is using him. If he never appointed Simon Ekpa, they would have succeeded. These people never knew Simon Ekpa was coming. They believed that once they captured, just like the devil, they miscalculated. They believed that once they captured Nnamdi Kanu, now they will use members of DOS to gradually destroy and dismantle everything, because they already had the criminal Ejiofor in their camp. So they believed that it was a perfect job that would just work. They never knew that Simon Ekpa was coming. Simon Ekpa has made this guy become the leader of the orchestra right now.
That's right.
Singing, release. All we are saying is release us, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. Can you see the work of God? Can you see what Chukwu Okike, only the owner of the sun that is blazing down, the owner of the air that we breathe, the owner of the ground upon which we stand? Nobody owns this ground. Can you see the glory of God already flooding the earth? This guy is going to sing some more. And I'm so glad that Simon Ekpa has said between now and 22nd, you got to release him. Or we want to see you. I want to see you, Soludo, championing your own cause, saying the sit at home, the sit at home on the 23rd and 24th must take place. Can you see the wisdom that God has poured into Simon Ekpa? Now I am also, on behalf of Simon Ekpa and Soludo, asking my fellow Nigerians, my fellow Biafrans, and those Oduduwans in extension, if they fail to release Martin and between today and 22nd, we must all ensure there is total lockdown in not just the whole of Biafra land, but to Oduduwa nation. We need to do this to show them that we are not playing. We're going to make their seats, we're going to make their, wherever they sit in their office, so hot that they can't sit down and relax on those seats anymore. So come on, Biafrans. Come on, Oduduwans. We are ready to go. Come on, let's go.
So obviously now we see that they are actually weak. They actually are empty, because you just need to do what you have to do to bring out that fear that is inside of them, resident in them. Now, obviously, that is why I see from this video and from what Soludo had done so far, what I see in Soludo now is this. I feel that they have come, they have sat, he has sat with his fellow conspirators, and they have looked at what is coming based on what
they've looked at every option. Every option. They've looked at every option. They found that releasing Nnamdi Kanu could be the safest thing to do.
And I feel that also they know what is coming for them if they don't release Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. They know what Simon is preparing, and that thing he's preparing is going to consume them. And so they want to use Mazin Nnamdi Kanu as their defense, knowing that he has a soft heart. When he comes out, he will calm everybody. That's what they feel. That's how they feel. He's going to calm everything because he has been doing that. They feel that he has been, all the sit at home, the other ones that were supposed to come, be executed, and he actually stopped them when they, came with their manipulation and using their money to buy the whole thing and all of that. So they feel, let's bring him in again and save our head from what is coming.
In addition to that, these people are not stupid.
Yes.
They have watched everything Nnamdi Kanu said come through.
Yes.
And their worst fear is allowing Nnamdi Kanu to die, because Nnamdi Kanu told them that if he died, Biafra will come quicker. Quicker. So they are not stupid. They know that Nnamdi Kanu has not said anything which hasn't come through. Nnamdi Kanu told them that these people are coming, and here we are seeing them coming. Nnamdi Kanu has said so many things. Whenever you replay them, they mean so much. Nnamdi Kanu told them that there are people born for this work, and these people must come. And these people are here. They realize that these people are here. They know in their minds that the only hope they have of surviving what is to come, is by having Nnamdi Kanu. Perhaps he will moderate things a bit. Okay? Because they don't even know. In fact, in their hearts, they know that the worst is coming if anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu. They're not stupid. They don't. The way we've been listening to Nnamdi Kanu's message is how they themselves have been listening to it, and they are seeing everything he said come through. They are not. They are, even if they are stupid, they are not mad yet, for them not to realize what is coming. So these people are like rats now trapped on a car's headlight. They don't know where to run to. They don't know how to go about it. And honestly speaking, I think the option they are looking at, freeing Nnamdi Kanu, is actually their best option. Because Nnamdi Kanu, knowing him, will come out and he will look at the whole scenario. And perhaps he will say, if you people want peace, just give us Biafra, let us go. And you can get on and do whatever else you want to do.
Yes.
Okay? So I know him, and I believe that is what he will say to them.
Don't you think also they feel like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being out will save them from dying? They believe that Biafrans are prepared to deal with
they know
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can say, please allow them.
They know that once the heat starts, they're all up for the chops. Then they're not stupid.
They know that.
They're not stupid. They know the level of anger in the land, and they know that no matter how many people they kill, there are still millions and millions that are haunting them. They're not stupid. They're not stupid.
Very well.
Yeah.
Wow. It's already okay.
Go ahead. You know, I have only 4 minutes to go.
Yes, that's why I want to end it here. That's why I want just to end it here. I want just say you have said, I was looking at the time and I was just trying to work with your time. We appreciate you so much. We want you to say your final words generally on the program itself, the enemy's program becoming an advantage, for us to bring about the manifestation of our own program, which means they help us plan our program by planning their own program to execute our program. Can you just say something briefly as your closing note on that? And then
thank you. I love to be led by the Spirit, so that whatever I say is not mine, but how God wants me to put it. In summary, I want people to remember Yeshua. Yeshua came for a purpose. The devil, represented by Nigerians, had a different plan. But the devil never knew that the plan it had was actually what is going to actualize the purpose for which Yeshua had come. I want you to see the mission of Yeshua as the mission of Biafra. But the enemy, Nigeria and its cohorts, wanted to make sure they dislodged and destroyed that. But they didn't know that whatever thing they were doing was going to result in Biafra coming. So, in a nutshell, that is what it's all about. And I hope for those that are discerning in their spirits, they would have understood what I have just said, because that is the ultimate summary of the entire thing.
That means the enemy is very, very important, because they plan that aspect we will not plan in our own program.
Without that plan of the enemy, the purpose will not be achieved. The whole goal can't be achieved.
So we actually needed them, whereas some people are afraid of getting.
I told you that they are going to act like manure. I told you that these weeds are going to be turned into manure that will be used to feed the crops. Everything I say to you, God has put it in my mouth to say, because it is the truth. So you can make all those connections. Yeah. So thank you so much.
We are seeing the growth now. The plant coming up very fast and strong, because the manure was actually applied.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you for this. We're going to have more time with you, at least on Friday. If I know that your time, because of your time, I would have brought you on Thursday, so I can talk more on this matter before Friday. But anyhow it is, we're going to see you on Friday. We appreciate you so much for this your submissions here. Very, very wonderful. And you actually did justice to the topic today. And you've actually opened our eyes. And of course, Biafrans are grateful. We're appreciating you for this and appreciating always for what you do and giving your time, giving your heart to this without any kind of expecting any remuneration or any applause or any kind of veneration from any Biafran or any other person. We know that Chukwokike is the one who's going to bless you, for us, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for taking much of your time, because we know you're supposed to be, do. So let's allow you go. We see you again on Friday. We appreciate you. So Biafran, say hello to Prince Ism. He has done wonderful, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my fellow Biafrans. All glory to God Almighty. We are onto it, and by God's almighty grace, we are going to get into the promised land. I thank you all. I bless you all. I love you all. You won't even know how much I love my fellow Biafrans. And it is only a privilege. And I thank God for everything. It's only a privilege. And you don't know how I feel about all of you that have come into the light. I love you all. I give God all the glory for you all. Nobody could have done this on their own. Without you, we won't be here. We want to free our land. We want to free our generation. We want to free our future generations. It is a job. It is a commitment. It is a duty. It is a responsibility. And we cannot shy away from it. To God be all glory in Yeshua's name. Goodbye for now, and see you all on Friday.
Yes, thank you. And dear friends, I know you have actually gotten the information you need for today. I'm sorry, my area is getting dark, and of course, I cannot stand up now to put on the light. So I just want to be on the program. I don't want any distraction and distortion. My side is getting light, so that's why I'm getting dark in the whole thing. But we are very delighted. I think it's the clouds just became suddenly dark, and all of that. So it's affecting the light in the room. So I appreciate you all. Now you understand that the plans of the enemy is very, very crucial, important, and necessary to the program you have for yourself. As much as we look at it in the light of Biafra, in your personal life too, whatever you do in life, the plan of the enemy is not what you should fear. But your reaction to the plan of the enemy is what makes the enemy's plan very immanent. As you heard and Prince said it makes the enemy plan immanent to what you are to do. So which means that whatever the enemy plans, as much as you are on the path of truth, you need the enemy's plan to complement your plan for success. So you see, for the purpose of freedom and for the purpose of the truth to be established and the kingdom of God to come down here on earth by the establishment or the restoration of the nation of Biafra, we needed the enemies to do their plans and come against the program and all of that for it to boost what we are doing. And today you can tell that everything they have done, they actually shot themselves on the foot. They actually shot themselves on the foot. And now it's obvious that we are actually winning. It's obvious that they actually planned on our behalf, because everything they did was necessary for us to succeed. Everything they did was important for us to succeed. So they planned for us, and they helped us plan that aspect of the plan we are not going to plan in line with our plans. I don't know whether you get that fact right. They helped us plan that aspect of the plan. We're not going to plan, in the line with what we are planning, because there are some parts of the planning that has to do with negativity, helping to boost the positivity. And that's part of that planning is for the enemy to plan so that they can plan it appropriately according to their own idiosyncratic behavior, their own idiosyncratic attitude and actions. And when they plan along that line, they plan the evil very well. Because they are evil, they will plan it very well. But not knowing that that evil is supposed to be very evil so that it will help complement the good and boost the quick achievement of the good. So that is why God gives the enemy that aspect to plan, because that part is necessary. That is why. Let me give you an example. If you come to power generation, you have the negative and positive. Am I correct? So you see, the negative and the positive have to come together to give you what you want. So God made it like that in life. So when the enemy comes against you with any plan that is negative, allow them. In fact, pray for them to be more wicked. Because the more wicked they are, the more you are positive, and of course you're on the truth. That means there's this distinct opposite side, the negative and the positive. When you are very on the truth and they are very on lies, it is distinct, and that will boost power generation better. Am I making sense? So you see, Soludo and Co, they were there. They contracted those ones who brought their aircraft. They collected millions of naira, dollars from the caliphate, promising the caliphate and hoping that they are going to do this. When they remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they stated the plan to the caliphate. They showed them the template. See, look at how we have played the chess. When we do this, when we do that, when we do that, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu goes out of the picture. Definitely, the people will forget him gradually, and definitely little by little will kill him. And then by then we would have doused tension, and the people will no more have that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put somebody who is of our place, you're going to give us the presidency, so that when we begin to talk about, by the time we give us the presidency, since we know that the years of the people all this while have been, why don't we have somebody being in the presidency? So when we present that person, we remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it kills them, because the only person who is helping to make them think about freedom is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So let's remove him, and then let's present the issue of presidency, giving it to the Southeast. And now they manipulated it and took the main positions, and then gave Labour Party to this guy, and he has come up. And they didn't know that their calculation was necessary to help the Biafra movement become strong, and for God to produce and give the opportunity for that new dimension that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu approved. Because for that new dimension that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that is being brought by Mazi Samanepa, he needed to step aside somewhere for a while, so that Mazi Samanepa will explain and project the new dimension properly, because it is actually the new dimension that is given to him by Chukwu Okike. So if God has given him that new dimension, the leader must sit back and watch him express that new dimension, so that he that is given the vision will express it properly, and then he will come in and fit in very well. Now that Mazi Samanepa have stabilized the whole concept of freedom through the concept of bringing about the new dimension in the ruthless way, in quotes, ruthless way, in the way that the zoo don't like it, because it's so ruthless to them. Now it is stable. It has stabilized the process of achieving freedom. It has stabilized the process of getting restoration. Right? Remember, I said restoration, restore. It was stored initially, and then it was destored. And then suddenly we are restored. So Biafra has been here before the zoo called Nigeria, before Britain, and before any of them. So it's now been restored because it was destored when it was stored initially. They destored it, and in 1967 it was restored, and then they destored it again in 1970, and then we are restoring it for the third time now, and this is the third time. Just like Jesus rose on the third day, this third time is stational, is not going to waver. Nobody can distort it anymore, because the third time Jesus rose up is significant to the fight of freedom. Now the third time we are getting our freedom, and we are restoring the kingdom. The first time it was stored, then it was destored by the British, and then the next time it was restored by Ojukwu. The British and the Caliphate and Russia and all of that came and destored it, and this is the third time it has been restored, and the new dimension template under the auspices of the autopilot that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ordained is now designed. And according to my program yesterday, if you remember, I told you about the faculties that makes it very evident that this generation is going to restore Biafra. On this note, remember, tomorrow is Evidence History Program, and I'm going to be giving more elaborate information and exposition on this particular side of my explanation now, and then continue on the narrative of some of the facts of yesterday, and then moving it on the templates of tomorrow, and then we'll seal it up. Tomorrow is going to be wonderful. Join me by 4 p.m. Biafra time, and you would not regret it. It's going to be wonderful. Please, as you watch this right now, please like the video and share it on all your social media platforms. Please, I beseech you, I beg you. What I mean by beseech means that I beg you, I plead with you. please share it on all your social media platforms, because we want people to listen to these messages as we preach them, as Chukwu Okike helps us to prophesy and speak these words, because prophecy means to speak. It's not any unusual, any extraordinary thing. It is just a spiritual exercise of speaking in the physical. That's prophecy. Speaking things that are spiritual in the physical. So what we say here are prophetic because they manifest the words of Chukwu Okike in the design of his plan for us. And that is why what we're doing is very critical. So please share on all your social media platforms so that people can join in this and learn and also get the facts, and all of that, and be able to be part of this. And of course, those people who don't have ears will have ears, and those who have ears will hear. They will hear and know the truth, and then we'll be able to stir up the spirit of those people whose mindset, their reasoning faculty have gone into comatose, so that they will be restored and they will get back to the point of getting back the ability to understand and to comprehend and to process information and then get saved from what is coming. Now, we're telling the caliphate, I'm going to use this medium again to say it, that this generation, that is it, my brother Zubike Felix. Mazi Kelechi is in power generation. Negative and positive must come together to produce light, which is Biafra. That is it. So the negative side is being brought by these politicians. All their plans represent the negatives, and now we have the positive. And of course, you know that it is evil that knows how to design negative very well. So Chukwu Okike gives them that role to play that negative very well, because they need to be very negative for it to be effectively negative to support the positive, to achieve that positive light that is to come. And if the light of Biafra will come, or if the rising sun must shine, or if the sun will rise according to the order of the rising sun, which is in Biafra, then the negative must play their role. That is why you see sabotage everywhere and all these people doing their evils. Not because they will overwhelm the program. No, they can't overwhelm it, but because they would help the light to shine very well. And that is the concept of what we are preaching here. And I tell you, tomorrow I'm going to explain better on these facts, and we're going to understand these things in the light of what we should understand them. And of course, I'm looking at your messages because we're rounding off right now, and then he's on that dimension of our leader for. So yes, that's it. Josh, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for your messages. I'm seeing this the third time in the final. Yes, Azubike, you're saying it. The third time in the final. The third time in the final. It seems we're having a call. Somebody wants to speak. I believe you're inspired to speak. So let me put it on here. And you're welcome to the program. You're live on the program, Biafra Global Network. Please go on. You are live and direct. Please go on to say the things you have in mind to say.
Hello, Mazi Kelechi. Is Abuku here?
Yes,
good
so
day, man.
Thank you so much. Good evening for coming on. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All
Please
right,
go on.
All right. I'm going to make it snappy as much as I can. You see, I am kind of excited somehow. Not excited that everything we have planned for has been achieved. But then we can begin to celebrate. You know why? The message is penetrating.
Very well.
The zoo, they're getting the message.
Very, very well.
The zoo, they're getting the message. At least for them to be very, very uncomfortable tells you that what we are doing is yielding fruits.
Yes.
At least to start with now, they have understood that kidnapping our leader was a terrible choice, was a very wrong mistake.
That's
little did they know that the people, our leader was suppressing many of us, and they never knew. You will never know the value of whatever you have until you lose it.
Yes.
Now, they never knew the people behind our leader. Because if they knew what was coming, they wouldn't have kidnapped this innocent, God,
very well,
kind-hearted man. He was a kind man.
Honestly.
He can't hurt her hand. Now, the same person they chastised, they so much hate, both their media and everybody, so much hate. They're beginning to love him now. Do you know why? Let me tell you why they are turning around now. Let me tell you why they're turning around. Do you know why?
Tell us. We're listening.
They know that upon any invitation, our leader, Mazen Nandikalu, will come to the table with pen and paper. But as for Simon Ekpa, he's a beast. He's coming to the dinner. He's coming to the table with guns and bullets.
Very correct.
And that is why they are so much now.
Very correct.
Simon Ekpa is coming.
In fact, you just said the things I want to say tomorrow.
Our leader,
you just said the things I want to say tomorrow.
Table with pen and papers.
Yes.
So now they are better choosing the devil.
Very well.
They have seen that this person we don't know what is made up of.
Yes.
Now their chickens, according to America, their chickens has come back to roost.
Yes.
But it is way too late.
Too late, my brother.
There's nothing they can do about it.
Too late, my brother.
Anybody who is going to that table, like Soludo rightfully said that they need Nnamdi Kanu on the table. Anytime Nnamdi Kanu is going to that table, he must pick up his gun and his bullets to go to that
Definitely,
table.
the table have been designed now. You see, you know what, my brother, just like what you're saying now, you know what David said, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This time around, the table is no more going to be as usual because the game has changed in a new dimension. So the table, we are going to design the table now. We are going to put the dish.
That their normal discussion
that
with
is
pen
it.
and paper.
That is
no,
it.
It's going to be guns and bullets.
That is it.
Any table they prepare now is going to be a table of guns and bullets.
That is it, my brother.
It is way too late. But
that is it.
The worst case, the good news for them is that the earlier they release that innocent man, the better for them. The bad news is that it can never change the hands of man.
That's it.
It is way too late.
That's
it can never change the hands. You see, this our innocent, God-given brothers inside the bush with guns and bullets. What are you going to do to them? None of them will drop that gun until Biafra is restored, until freedom is achieved.
Definitely.
Nobody will drop that gun. And now they understand that those bullets, those guns that can kill people. They don't believe that gun kill people. Now they believe that gun kill people. So they're afraid of their life. Yes. They are running away from death. But they must get that death in return. How they wish they know what they know today. They wouldn't have made that mistake, allowing Nnamdi Kanu to pass through this agony. He suffered in the hands of animals. And they will pay.
Very well. They will pay.
No matter how Soludo sing praises, Nnamdi Kanu Gesu, Mone JJ release him, now give. No matter, all of them will sing that music.
Very well.
The next person who is going to sing that music now might be Goku Zodema or Jebumahe or Kezipa. Any one of them, they will join that chorus. All of them will sing that music. But this is just the beginning of what is about to come. I said what is about to come to the zoo is tsunami, and that tsunami will hit. It is still category 1 or 2 in the Atlantic. Very soon it will go to the category 4 or 5, which is the hardest, and it will hit the zoo. It will hit them so hard. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, you said the facts and you said the real things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's listen to the choir master and his the choristers. Let's listen to the mass choir of the current mass choir of the Southeast governors. Let's listen to the current choir that have been raised by Soludo, the masterminder of the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu, and his team constituting a choir to sing the praise of the one they kidnapped and the one they want dead. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Biafrans all over the nations of the world, Oduduwa, my Oduduwa brothers and sisters all over the nations of the world, lovers of freedom all over the nations of the world, behold the choir master and his choir.
Nnamdi Kanu, all we are saying, give us Nnamdi. Is that all we are saying? Give us Nnamdi. When he comes, we will have that.
This is the mass choir. This is the mass choir of the enemy's camp, the negative camp. This is the mass choir. The mass choir. I remember during Reinhard Bonnke period, when Reinhard Bonnke came to the zoo, Lagos in 2006, when we raised, no, that was Benny Hinn. Yes, 2006. Benny Hinn's period was 2005. I was one of the music coordinators for Benny Hinn. Then we raised about 5,000 people for mass choir. And during Reinhard Bonnke, I was the vice chairman to the music committee before Joe 2 now came in, and I now began to work under Joe 2 in that regard, and we raised up almost 7 to 10 million people as choristers. And that was a mass choir. But today we have the current choir that is going to entertain Biafra people and lovers of freedom all over the world. It seems Prince is here again. It seems you want to say something about this mass choir or something. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. I'm so happy about this choir.
my appointment was cancelled, so I thought to myself, let me check Yeah.
Okay.
Let me check and see whether this program is still on, because there was a vital point I wanted to make, which has kept my memory. This could be a human part of me speaking, because I was speaking in the spirit earlier. But this human part is also linked to the spirit. It's important I said this to all my Biafran brothers and sisters and all my Oduduwa Biafrans and look, Oduduwa Biafrans and sisters, I want you to all note this down. You see, when you about Martin Luther King of United States, you need to know that Nnamdi Kanu is the one now representing him. Now I want you to listen carefully. The only reason why Americans chose Martin Luther King over all else was because of Malcolm X. Malcolm X is actually Mazi Simon Ekpa. I want you to listen attentively. Malcolm X was preaching the brand of message that you're hearing today from Simon Ekpa. The ruthless message of, look, we are going to fight with you. We are not messing about. For our freedom, for killing our children, killing our women, we are fighting you to the teeth. Suddenly, they began to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a moderator, just like Americans began to see Martin Luther King as a moderator. And they had to choose Martin Luther's message over that of Malcolm X, because Malcolm X wanted total separation of African Americans, total separation. He was going for the brute force. But they saw a moderator in Martin Luther King and chose him. So now, that's exactly what is happening to these Nigerian criminals and British orchestrating agents. They now are viewing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a better option. So I want you to understand that. That is what has happened.
That means if you look at it from history and on this time too, every moderator need an activator or something to complement his moderating and give meaning or flesh to his moderation or his moderating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was also what released somebody like Nelson Mandela from prison, because they suddenly realized that the heat from the outside could consume all of them. If anything happened to Nelson Mandela, they knew that Nelson Mandela needed to come out to moderate things. Okay? Because you see, you need the fire that will sustain every freedom fighter. That's why Nigerians and their evil system wanted everybody to be calm, so that they can get rid of Nnamdi Kanu. When they found that the heat on the outside could consume them, they now have begun to see perhaps Nnamdi Kanu is a better option. That's why you must applaud Mazi Simon Ekpa for saying, we're going to make that your kidnap worthless to you. We're going to show you that you took the wrong man and left the deadly ones outside. So it is all playing out. It is all there for you to see. In fact, you don't need me to interpret it for you to understand. All I'm asking Biafrans and Oduduwans is to push on. Put your foot on the accelerator. Keep going. The mission is about to be achieved.
Okay, so which means moderator plus the activator equals to the liberation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we give that equation here.
Because you need the mixture. You look at even Britain. When you look at Sinn Féin, and you look at they did, okay, with the IRA terrorists, okay, they knew they had to start negotiating with Sinn Féin, which is the political wing, because IRA terrorists were now getting out of hand. Okay, they will always look for the better and safer option, because they knew that the other part is deadly. The other part can consume them. That's exactly what has been replicated right here. So, Simon Eber, more grease elbow. All of you that are autopiloted IPOBs, more grease to your elbow. Keep on the fire burning. Let them know that this fire is going to be intensified if they calculate even more, if they do more wrong calculations. Yeah, this fire will consume them. That is what is going to get you to the promised land. And I'm glad that we are there. So that's the point I needed to come back to make, so we do not lose sight of that. Okay?
Thank you so
so
much.
Now I can bow out officially.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I thought I'm going to try. Okay. You take care now. Okay. Bye.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Was a wonderful addendum addition there. And I want to look at somebody's message. He said, Casey, tell our people about your Facebook. And from Chiem Obunike says, Kelechi, tell our people about your Facebook so they can share this program as well. And please, you can go to Biafra Global Network page, Biafra Global Network page on Facebook, and then you can share from there on your Facebook also. From Biafra Global Network, you can share from there. And then, of course, you can join and follow Biafra Global Network on Facebook. It's a page. Just check Biafra Global Network page. Just type it, Biafra Global Network page. It will show you, you will see the logo and all of that. You will now join. You join and share videos from there. Anytime we come online, just go there, share on your profile from that point, so that those who are along your line will watch it there, and those who can come to YouTube can come to YouTube also. My brother is saying, that I should do as I always do, read the messages as they come. And Clement says, please read out the chats, you know, the way you used to read them and all of that. It's just because I think I had about 2-3 people who were saying that reading these things were actually wasting time, because it will help okay, but I understand you here now. You said like you used to and comment on each that explains your view and prompt and response. Yes, I think you have a point here. I still need to touch on these things to be able to, but if I have to do that, that means I'll have to be reading every chat to actually get the points out and then begin to read them. So I don't know whether people see it as a waste of time or people see it as also, a waste of time, or as necessary. And that's what I want to find out. So if people say, if I can have 10 people say it's good for me to be reading out now, I'll say, okay, that means I'm not wasting your time. So you're not saying the time is wasted. Because sometimes when I read these things, they help me get facts. Moderator, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being the moderator and someone else being the activator, and then equal liberation. So we have the moderator and the activator equal the liberation. And that is our equation. That's our simple, do we call it algebra? Should we add it to algebra now? Or simple mathematical plus addition program. Moderator, Nnamdi Kanu, activator, Mazi Simon Ekpa, liberation, and that comes with liberation. So please, everybody, take note. As God preserve me, have said, we have to take note on that. We have made that point here today that being a moderator, we need a moderator to have an activator with him, and then for the liberation to be evident and of course conspicuous. The conspicuousness of the liberation comes with the input of an activator along the line of a moderator, because the moderator has the details of the program. That's why he moderates along that line. So in the details of the program, he stipulates the facts of everything you need to know. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. He stipulated the facts as a moderator, gave us the lessons we need to learn, and caused us to be restored in our thinking faculty, and made us become knowledgeable about the facts about what we're doing. And then the activator now came, activating every of the teachings of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you more of these facts in my teaching tomorrow. Don't joke with it tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be wonderful. It's going to be something else. And I promise you, it's going to be wonderful. Thank you so much, all. I love you all, and I appreciate you all for being part of this program. And I tell you that join me tomorrow 4 p.m. and it's going to be wonderful here. And I tell you, it's going to be something else. So join me. And because of time, we're not going to be able to read messages now. You know, it makes it more interactive program. Okay, Adeyemi says it makes it more interactive. Okay, it's good, but it wastes also time. Maybe you can do half and half. Okay, I'm going to try to do that. I think I'm getting your facts here. Let me just see what you people are saying about that. In mathematics, is simplification. Okay, simplification. Yes. Okay, Chiku, thank you so much for reminding me. Simplification. Yes. Moderator plus activator equals liberation. And you have to preach this gospel to the people on your social media platforms. Begin to write it. Moderator, activator, moderator, Mazi Samanekpa, right? I mean, Nnamdi Kanu, write it there, bracket, plus activator, Nnamdi and Mazi Samanekpa, you bracket it, equals liberation, the people, sovereignty, bracket sovereignty there. So that is the fact of the mathematical and the simplification we have gotten from here. Simplify, you know, when you hear simplify those days in mathematics, your heart will just go boom. Especially when we were in primary school, when we entered primary 4, primary 5, just lots of our stuff were simplify, you know, and your heart will go flip-flop, especially when we didn't love mathematics. Those lazy minds that don't want to calculate, you know. Oh my God. And Mary says that when Biafra is restored, the lazy minds, sorry, I did not lazy minds, sorry, I'm talking about my own thinking. When Biafra is restored, the nation of Biafra will be strong and keep their laws forever. Let Biafra be strongest for nation. Of course, we're going to be strong. We're going to definitely be strong. We're going to definitely be strong. I tell you, it's going to be very, 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 very powerful. You know, Biafra nation will be powerful. Please pardon our brother Mazi Kelechi when he don't read to your hearing. He's doing a lot and many things in his mind. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I love it when people understand the situation. Evermart have just analyzed the situation because lots of things, you know, in the mind, you know, and all of that. And so please don't just pardon me if your message is not read, you know, because lots of information and coming into the head and lots of things happening at the same time, thinking about so many things. From here now, I'm going to another Biafra program. You know, going to do some work for Biafra. So lots of the time, you know, lots of thoughts and lots of actions, things going on, and we have to preach the gospel of freedom and do this work that we have to do. Mazi, please read messages if you have the time. Thanks. Okay, as you said, read. So I'm getting more messages. Please discuss about the Mazi Samanekpa new channel. Okay. You know, the channel today started having problems today. Yesterday he had a program on the channel, and today the channel has begun to have problems. We've been trying to access the channel, but having some problems. Yesterday you heard there was a restriction that you're going to the channel that requires you to be at on a certain age or of a certain age to access it. And suddenly today it's becoming very, you know, very, very serious, and you know, some dicey, some circumstances like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for him to give us a breakdown. I'm going to go back to, I don't know whether he has chatted us anyways on our media space about it, or he has said anything. We're waiting for him to say something, or I'm going to send, maybe I'm going to send a private message to him, so to see whether there's anything that needs to be said about the channel and any information that needs to go out. So between now and today, maybe he's going to post it on Twitter or post it anywhere. And then also when I come here tomorrow, I'm going to speak more on it. So that is why I didn't want to speak about it, because we want to always hear from him on the current situation, because he knows the situation proper, because he is that channel is under him, and he handles it. So we have to wait for him rather than running ahead of ourselves. We have to wait for him to tell us what is the current situation, and then we can. He has been chatting on Twitter. Anyways, he has been chatting on Twitter. There's new one on Twitter. Okay, so if there's new one on Twitter, I've not gone to Twitter before this program. Maybe it's just posted. So I'm going to go on Twitter and check it out, and then I'm going to send him a private message to get more information about it. If once a new one comes, just go there and subscribe. Let's be sure that it is from him. We just go there and subscribe and feel it again the way we have felt. In fact, double it this time around. So we will tell the enemies that we are more than them. If you like, they should bring it down. We will feel it again. We'll bring it down. We'll feel it again. We'll keep feeling it. They can't stop us. You know, they can't stop us. Yes, I'm seeing the messages. Zion Prayer Movement Outreach Live is on the Twitter handle. Okay, he says on the Twitter handle. As Vicky Felix says, there's new one on Twitter. So we're going to go there, and we're going to go to the new channel, and we're going to subscribe. All of us are going to subscribe. We're still going to watch it from there. They can't stop this movement of freedom. We have 48 days to go. You see it behind me here, and nothing can stop it. You are dealing with people you can't bribe. So just keep doing your games as the negative. We need you to do your games to push the gospel further. So if you don't do your games, how would we get the negative to complement the positive? So keep doing your job so that we can have the necessary negative effect that will help boost and be on the same equilibrium with the positive, because the positive will always have the result, because it uses the negative to actualize the program that is meant to bring out the necessary details of the positive. So that's it. He has already sent a link for a new YouTube channel to follow. Okay, so we are following everybody with that to follow that, and we follow that and all of that. Yes, we have to confirm. That's why I said I'm going to confirm first if that is him, posting that. But if it is on his YouTube, if it's on his, if it's on his Twitter, that's his Twitter channel. Of course, about 62, is it 63 subscribers now, or 64 subscribers? If it is on 64,000 subscribers, if it's on that YouTube, if it's on that Twitter, just know that it is him. If it's posted there, just know that it's him, and then just go straight and start subscribing to the YouTube channel. Please confirm before you subscribe. Yeah, Diana, you're correct. But confirm if that Twitter account is the one that has 64,000 subscribers now, or followers. Just know that it is Mazi Samonepa. Just written Samonepa, because lots of people are coming with so many stuff to try to to get the people to be distracted. So we're not going to be distracted. Thank you so much all for being part of this. Tomorrow, I'm going to continue on this narrative. It's going to be explosive tomorrow, and watch it out tomorrow. Very, very, oh my God. You can't miss tomorrow. It's going to be powerful here. And I'm going to be speaking on some critical things, which Chukwu Okike is going to give me inspiration to speak on. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And I say, Chukwu Okike, bless you all, and God bless you. Very good. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I love you all. I love you all. Every one of you, I love you as much as I love myself. I love you all. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, risking myself, bringing my face out and doing what I'm doing. Sometimes it comes to my mind, are you not risking yourself? What if they surround you as you're walking out, people just shoot you down? I say that's the mind. It plays that mind game. But I know that what I'm doing is true, and God will protect me from what I'm doing, protect every one of us. So we are protected. Threats coming from everywhere, but yet we're doing what we're doing because we know that Chukwu Okike is blessing us. Okay, 62 subscribers and followers. Sorry, yes, I think 62. Yes, I think 62. It was 61.9 as at yesterday. Today it became 62. Yes, correct. You're correct. You're correct. Thank you so much, all. I love you all, and God bless you. Very good. See you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Biafra time, same time. Sorry, I couldn't come on Twitter Space today as I was supposed to come up by 10 a.m. Biafra time. But I'll make sure that by Thursday also, I'm going to be there 10 a.m. Biafra time, and to be there so that we can do what we have to do 10 a.m. Biafra time, and to be there on Twitter. We're going to discuss critical things on Twitter, and we're going to discuss, that's on Twitter Space, where you have the opportunity to call in and to speak in and be a speaker and speak. So we're going to become speakers there, and we're going to talk together on Thursday by God's grace. Thursday, 10 a.m. Biafra time, we're going to be there. And please subscribe to this channel and share on all your social media platforms so that people can join you and be part of this great program of liberation and understand the truth, and the truth sets and makes them free. Thank you all, and I love you all. Chukwu Okike bless you. Elohim bless you real good.